Jupiter was appropriately named after the king of the gods. Though it has been known to astronomers since ancient times, the invention of the telescope and the advent of modern astronomy has taught us so much about this gas giant. In short, there are countless interesting facts about this gas giant that many people just don't know about. Therefore, in this video, we bring to you 13 amazing facts about Jupiter, where we explore it beyond the dimensions of theoretical books. Number 1. Jupiter is massive. It's no secret that Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, but this description really doesn't do justice to its size. Just imagine that the mass of Jupiter is 318 times as massive as the Earth, and in fact, it is 2.5 times more massive than all of the other planets in the solar system combined. But here's the really interesting thing. If Jupiter got any more bigger, it would actually get smaller. Yes, the additional mass would actually make the planet more dense, which would cause it to start pulling it in on itself. Astronomers estimate that Jupiter could end up with 4 times its current mass and still remain about the same size. Number 2. Jupiter is the fastest spinning planet in the solar system. Despite its size and mass, Jupiter moves very quickly. In fact, with a rotational velocity of 12.6 km per second, or 45,300 km per hour, the planet only takes about 10 hours to complete a full rotation on its axis. Number 3. The Great Red Spot of Jupiter has been around for a long time. This Great Red Spot on Jupiter is one of its most familiar features. Located to the south of its equator, it measures between 24,000 kilometers in diameter and 12 to 14,000 kilometers in height. As such, it is large enough to contain 2 or 3 planets, having the size of Earth's diameter. That's immense. The spot has been around for at least 350 years, since it was spotted as far back as the 17th century. The Great Red Spot was first identified in 1665 by an Italian astronomer, Giovanni Cassini. Number 4. Jupiter has 79 moons. As of 2020, Jupiter has 79 confirmed and named satellites. However, it is estimated that the planet has over 200 natural satellites orbiting it. Almost all of them are less than 10 kilometers in diameter and were only discovered after 1975, when the first spacecraft, Pioneer 10, arrived at Jupiter. Number 5. You can see Jupiter with your own eyes. Jupiter is the third brightest object in the solar system, after Venus and the Moon. The chances are, you saw Jupiter in the sky, and had no idea that's what you were seeing. Chances are, if you see a really bright star high in the sky, then you're looking at Jupiter. Get your hands on a pair of binoculars, and if you know someone with a telescope, that's even better. Just think, you'll be seeing precisely what Galileo did when he gazed at the planet in 1610. Number 6. Jupiter is the solar system's asteroid vacuum cleaner. Due to its sheer mass and proximity to the Kuiper Belt, a huge region of space beyond Neptune packed with asteroids and dwarf planets, Jupiter attracts a lot of visitors. Astronomers believe Jupiter experiences at least 200 times more meteorite impacts than Earth. So, kudos to Jupiter for clearing the solar system of potentially hazardous asteroids that might have come dangerously close to Earth. Number 7. Jupiter has rings. Yes, one of the most unknown facts about this giant planet is that it has rings. However, Jupiter's rings are faint, and are composed of mainly dust particles. These rings contain 3 major segments, an inner torus of particles known as the halo, a relatively bright main ring, and an outer gossamer ring. Number 8. NASA has considered plans for the economic exploitation of Jupiter. With the large amounts of helium-3 in its atmosphere, NASA has formed somewhat of a business model for Jupiter. Helium-3 is very rare on Earth, but also potentially very valuable in the future as a fuel for next-generation nuclear reactors. Scientists believe that using helium-3 as nuclear fuel would see the development of reactors with less radiation while operating. NASA has thus considered the idea of space stations in orbit around Jupiter. These stations would collect helium-3 and other gases from the planet below. From there, they could then get exported to other places in the solar system. Number 9. Plans for manned missions to Jupiter exist. Currently, NASA has been developing plans for manned missions to the outer solar system as a whole. They're also very long-term in terms of planning, with no missions expected to launch until the 2040s at the earliest. These plans include not just brief stops on the Jovian moons, but also building research bases on the moons as well. Number 10. 1 year on Jupiter is actually very long. Jupiter completes a rotation around the Sun every 11.86 years. This means that 1 year on Jupiter is nearly 12 years on Earth. Number 11. We all know that Jupiter is very windy, but can you guess its speed? Normal winds on Jupiter are equal to the power of a tornado here on Earth. The winds on Jupiter can reach over 200 miles per hour, or over 300 kilometers per hour. Number 12. Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets. It turns on its axis once every 9 hours and 55 minutes, and therefore, has the shortest day among all the planets in our solar system. Number 13. Jupiter has the strongest magnetic field of any planet in the solar system. Just like Earth, Jupiter's core is made of active, swirling molten material, whose motion generates a magnetic field. According to measurements performed by NASA, Jupiter's magnetic field is at least 14 times stronger than Earth's, making it the most powerful in the solar system. That was all about Jupiter for you. Do like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel, Explified.